Another day, another ride.
Hello dear viewer and welcome back to the channel. I'm at the house of my friends in Sweden, but I'm not alone. Look who's here also. It's my good companion Tricity, which means that I left a few days ago in the Netherlands.
After loading my luggage onto Tricity and checking the odometer reading, I started my 2026 tour in the early afternoon. First of all, I want to give credit to the mechanic in Thessaloniki, Greece. As you may know, I had problems with Tricity's oil consumption last year, and this mechanic heard immediately upon starting Tricity that something was wrong with her cylinder head and the piston. And although several people, including myself, had doubts about whether this was correct, it turned out he was right all along. Upon returning to the Netherlands, I had ridden past my dealer to make an appointment for maintenance. They had already mentioned at that time that they had received a Tricity with the same problem, and that its cylinder head and piston were broken. When I returned for the appointment, they had another one with the same problem. It is suspected that there is a manufacturing defect in some 2023 models. Everything was therefore repaired under warranty. Because I am retiring this year, I can travel for an indefinite period. Therefore, I don't know yet how long I will be away, but it will probably be longer than in recent years. First, I'm going to visit my friends in Sweden, and after that, I'll see where I go next. Since I didn't leave until early afternoon, I took the highway to get to my first stop. Because campsite the Rode Kapschuur is fairly close to the route I want to take to visit my friends, I went here again, just as I have done in previous seasons. I was warmly welcomed again and allowed to use the guest room, so I didn't have to pitch and take down my tent. As a result, I was able to ride to the next destination on my route reasonably early the next morning. At the border crossing near Bad Niemeschans, all traffic was directed across the parking lot for inspection by the German police. Fortunately, I was allowed to ride straight through. Today too, I rode almost exclusively on the highway. Near Bremen, I experienced some delays due to the traffic jam, with slow moving and sometimes stationary traffic, but that didn't last very long. I took regular breaks along the way, so that Tricity and I could rest, but Tricity has gotten a bit thirsty from all the riding. The previous times I passed through the Elbe tunnel near Hamburg, there were quite a few traffic jams. This time there was only some slow moving traffic. Upon arriving in Kile, I went to the Sweden Kai, very fittingly, to board the ferry to Gothenburg. A small but nice cabin for the night, and the next morning, after a refreshing sleep, I disembarked. In Sweden, the first part of the journey was also on the highway, but after the road turned into a two-lane road, riding became more pleasant and the landscape also became more attractive. I arrived at my friend's place at the end of Saturday afternoon.
Zo dan.
Ben ik klaar,
Let's see,
mate?
hoor. Ben je breed, hè, zo?
Ben je er klaar mee?
Nou, hij blijft niet staan zo, hoor. Nu wel?
Er staat stabiliteit op, hè? Dat is het ding.
Serieus? Wie?